voice was too sore. They finally reached the doctor's. And that is why you always wear your seatbelt, children. They walked into the doctor's office. And saw Dr. McDade. Her mother explained what was wrong.
So what's wrong with him? Just give me that little spoon. Hop up on the table. Lie down.
I can't see the doctor again.
The doctor checked her throat and thought it was best to run a few tests.
Inspirate? Expirate?
What does that mean?
Well, inspiration is... the form of breathing in. The diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. The external intercostal muscles contract. The rib cage expands and lungs expand with the chest cavity. The high air pressure from outside the body forces the air into the lungs. And that's inspiration.
But what about expiration?
Expiration is a form of breathing out. The external intercostal muscles relax. If the voice is being used for strong vocal work, then the internal intercostal muscles contract. The diaphragm relaxes and returns to its original dome shape. The air pressure from inside the chest cavity is higher, so the air flows out of the lungs and into the open air. And that's expiration. Next. Say ah. Well, that isn't a very good vocal sound, is it? Do you know how vocal sounds are produced? Well. Yeah, firstly, imagine the pitch you want to create. The brain sends signals to the muscles which change the position of the vocal folds.
Telegram from Mr. Muscle. Telegram from Mr. Muscle. Telegram from Mr. Muscle. Back to headquarters.
Air passes through the vocal folds which cause them to vibrate. If the vocal folds vibrate are fat and short and vibrate, then the sound is low. If the vocal folds are skinny and long, tight and vibrate very quickly, then the vocal sound is high. It's the combination of muscle adjustments and the breath that cause vocal sound.
The doctor could not find out what was wrong with Erin's voice. So, Dr. McDade had a brilliant idea. She invited her friend, Dr. Topping, to take a look at her.
Say ah. Nothing wrong with her epiglottis. That's the flappy thing at the back of the throat that stops food from going down the trachea. Windpipe. It could be a problem with her resonators. Do you know what your resonators are?
No.
I'll show you. Your resonators consist of your larynx, which is the back of the throat, the empty space, and your nasal cavity in your nose, and your buccal cavity in your mouth. Now, imagine shouting into a cave.
Hello!
The cave by your vocal cords vibrating and the air passing through them, moves into resonators. The resonators give it tone and volume, and you go out of the mouth with a different noise. Now, as for the formation of words, we use our articulators. Do you know what they are?
No.
They are your lips, teeth, aeolian ridge, hard and soft palate, and your glottis, which is the space between your vocal folds. As for the way they work, well, they form words, consonants, vowels, and give us language. Say if I were to say, "Aww," then the sound would simply just produce out of my mouth. No obstruction whatsoever by the articulators. But say if I were to try and make a t sound, I would be obstructed by obstacles. So it would be like, "Aww." If I wanted to make a really big word full of T's and S's, and it would sound a lot like this. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's always how the articulators work.
The doctors went to go talk about Ellen's tests. And then Dr. Topping figured out what was wrong.
God! It is my professional opinion that this poor child has strained her voice. Obviously, someone didn't warm up their voice before going to their singing rehearsals. Your voice will get better if you rest, but I'm afraid, Aaron, you won't be performing anytime soon. Tell her it's not true. Tell her it's just a story.
Now, children, if you don't want this to happen to you, I suggest you warm up your voice before doing any strenuous exercises. So, to show you what we mean, we're going to play a little game. So I'd like you to push your chairs back as far as they possibly go. So now, you all know what TIG is, right?
Oh no.
So now it's going to be quite... So now if you all stand up, we're going to play something like tunnel TIG. So if I could have a volunteer come over here, please. Douglas, and you put your hand up first. So, turn around and face the audience, please. So, if you get tugged, you are going to stand like this. Okay? What? I'm demonstrating. So, if you want to free Douglas, hopefully, if you want to free him, you go up and pretend it's a rib cage. And then you're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and out for 4. Okay? So does everyone understand?
Yeah.
But the problem is, every time you get tugged, you have to times it by 2. The holding out, for breathing out, you're going to times it by 2. So that's why we don't want you to get tugged. So if you all stand up.
I can't do it. Wait, come on then.
In case there is a flaw, we'll make sure it only goes up to 60.
So, okay, alright.
I know you will. 1, 2.
Right, so everyone stand up.
Come on, Sammy.
I don't want to play. I don't think everybody should because it's a very small room.
Okay. So anyone that wants to play the game.
No, don't do that.
It's just going to be a really bad game, man.
We'll pick